Can we talk about our incredible merch over at Elite Sports?
Yeah, what you got?
Just in time for the holidays. Get your squaring around hat.
Hey, you like it?
I fucking love it.
I like how it's the traditional green snapback. I've never owned a snapback like that. I've wanted one so bad in like the Obey era, and now I finally can. EliteSports.com. Use code SQUARE at checkout.
It's so cool, and I use code SQUARE for home field apparel. I did a little Christmas shopping this past week. I got some siblings who go to different schools that home field does support. Use code SQUARE, got my 10% discount. So, and I put a little bit of money right back in our pocket. So shout out.
Are you kidding me? They support the Merchant Marine Academy before Texas State.
They support Texas A&M.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I don't think they do UTSA though.
Take me home. They don't.
So that's the other one. That if they got if UTSA popped up before Texas State, we'd have a problem.
I belong.
I don't know why they don't make T-shirts with like the rivalry. That'd be a cool rivalry T-shirt.
Hashtag not a rivalry.
Yeah. Gotta root for Marshall. Even though, did you see their quote today about their quarterback that went in the transfer portal?
Oh no.
Head coach said that I think his name is Cam Fields. He said that the quarterback wasn't very good and the fans hated him, so it made sense for him to go in the transfer portal. And I was like, well, at least he's being honest.
I didn't know how long is fucking Grayson McCall gonna be around? What's his problem?
He's gonna be around for a little bit longer. He's gonna go. I don't know where he's gonna go. He might go to Liberty with his.
Oh, the best G5 in the country.
You got 13 wins. Our average margin of victory versus bowl eligible teams. It was 17 going into tonight. It was 14 for this win. So I can't do that math. I don't know what that'll knock it down to, but 16. And we beat 6 bowl eligible teams. That's the highest G5 in the country.
Okay, his name is Cam Fancher. Fancher. And Coach Huff, who's the head coach of the Marshall Thundering Herd, said, doesn't come as a surprise. Quote, there isn't a lot of money for NIL and the fans hate him. The kid has to be miserable.
There's not enough money for NIL over there. Who has enough money for NIL?
I don't know, but shout out to a coach who straight up is like, we're poor and the fans hate him. So
the fans hate this guy.
Makes sense. Think about that. There's probably a couple of quarterbacks in Texas State recent history that fans have not been exactly the biggest fans of. I can think of one. Starts with a B, ends with 80.
Yeah. Ickbride.
E2 Ickbride. I love Brady. Lane Hatcher is probably the more one that comes to fans' minds quicker.
If only NIL existed around the time you and I went to school, and for student media, and we could have taken a 6th or 7th year around the sun.
Oh my God. Well, yeah. And we got a COVID year of writing thrilling stories about Sewell Park and the Sun God. I swear to God, University Star, they just run it back every year. They go, you know who we haven't wrote about in 6 months? The Sun God. Let's get that guy another cover. And everyone thinks they're so clever. They're like, ooh, we're the first people to do this. It's like, no, you're the 40th.
My freshman year was that year that they did the Avengers of Texas State, where they got Big Nietzsche, Dan, Frisbee Dan, Sun God. Who the hell else was there? Ripstick guy? Question mark? Yeah. Or Bubble Believer, I think. It was
probably. Yeah, Bubble Believer too. That was a Me Too poster child walking around,
Yeah.
That was a lot of allegations thrown all those guys away.
Dead ass. Yeah, literally every single one of them could not escape the allegations.
Not good. And you know who platformed them? The University Star.
They did not platform.
Put him on the cover.
A lot of platforming, I guess. Yeah.
Put him on the cover. Also said that we should pave over the football field. More parking.
Yeah. This guy, same song, same dance. You know the story already.
Just saying.
You're like, this is your, whatever. I'm not going to draw a parallel. It doesn't parallel to anything.
Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas.
Tired of winning the tailgate, but losing the games? We can't help that. But we can tell you what the hell is up with each team and what's going on across sunny San Marcos. Texas State fans, get on your feet. You're listening to Squarin' Around with Jakob Rodriguez and Andrew Zimmel.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Squarin' Around. Andy, happy anniversary, buddy. It's on Friday, but this will be the anniversary show. 1 year ago to date, exactly. Even though I keep getting notifications saying we did it earlier, our first episode came out EST, December 8th, 2022.
It's crazy that we've done a year of these podcasts. Think about the highs. Think about not a lot of lows. It's been mostly highs.
Yeah.
It's been mostly like, hey, can you record a podcast at 10 a.m.? No. How about 4? Okay, let's get it here. How about we do this and this? We used to be putting out 3 a week. Remember that? Now we've gone down to 1.
I was like, holy shit, can we sustain this? We could not. That was very, seldom that we did that ever. I think it was like National Signing Day. We had 3 episodes. Then we had like
basketball,
had a couple episodes. Baseball, probably.
We hit I think we had Don and Jessica on the same week.
Mm-hmm. Don,
which
Jessica,
was,
and Ara.
Those were 2 incredible podcasts back to back. If you haven't gone to listen, go back to the archives, find that one on YouTube because it's
still the only podcast
solid.
that has had Don on too. So
is that true?
I'm pretty sure. I mean,
wow.
other people talk to him, but we talk to him.
And that's kind of interesting because first, elephant in the room, we got merch out of it. Second off, he's done such a good job. Like we talk Danfus all the time. Kelly Danfus has been on social media probably more than any other administrator ever for Texas State. Like I don't remember Denise Trouth or Larry Tice clearly was not on Twitter posting anything, but Kelly Danfus has gotten a ton of the credit. And I want to give Danfus credit for giving Don credit, who said like, hey, first thing,
this guy's baby.
Got it done. Hired the right AD, made the right coaching hire. Now we're bowl eligible. Going to the First Responders Bowl against Rice.
Yeah, because it rolls off your tongue, everybody, right? The app for that one, by the way, is @FR Bowl. So anytime I type it, I'm like, FR. For real, bro.
For real, bro. FR Bowl. So we're going up against Rice. Shout out to the Owls. It's going to be an interesting one. I would have rather played Rice fully healthy with 2 teams that are fully healthy versus what we're going in now, where I
think they're less healthy.
State should be. Oh yeah, no. Texas State is much more healthy, and they also have all their major pieces.
And like, get 3 weeks of a film study. Pretty good.
I don't want to jinx things. We're recording this on Wednesday afternoon.
December 6th. Everybody.
TJ Finley, still very much a Bobcat. Malik Hornsby, still very much a Bobcat. Ishmael Mahdi, still very much a Bobcat. Hobart, Hawkins, Cole, all very much Bobcats still. So we're coming in with pretty much our entire Ben Bell, Brian Holloway, all guys who are still in the maroon and gold. JT Daniels was maybe the most important player for the Owls this season. He was their starting quarterback. You might remember him from playing for Georgia and USC and then West Virginia last year. He medically retired due to concussions. So they're going to have a sophomore quarterback starting in the bowl game against Texas State. But the big story will be Luke McCaffrey, the brother of Christian McCaffrey. He is an electric wide receiver. He's a little bit of do-everything guy. He's somebody that you'd love to have, a Darren Sproles type running back in the backfield. You can use him in the slot. He is incredible, Jacob. I watched this kid play earlier this season against Houston, had 2 amazing touchdown catches. That is going to be the marquee. It's going to be Luke McCaffrey versus Ishmael Mahdi. That'll be the fight card.
Let me tell you this. I had no idea that guy was even on the team because I've done 0 research on Rice because I felt like we had more time and I didn't think you were going to do all this right now. But
that's fine. We can do it on next week's podcast too. We can talk.
No, it's cool. I'm just saying, like, how boring is this team that I didn't fucking know that? Of course I knew JT Daniels, but I had no idea Luke McCaffrey was on this team.
And I'm pretty sure Luke McCaffrey is still like doing what he needs to be doing. I haven't seen any transfer portal stuff, but again, the transfer portal has.
Why have I not heard about this guy?
It's got 3. The transfer portal currently has 3,000 college athletes in it, which is that's a ton. That's a ton of college athletes in the transfer portal right now. So for Transfer U, Texas State, this could be huge. You have a chance here to add potentially.
That's beautiful. Number 10.
Luke McCaffrey?
Yeah.
Put him on the screen.
He looks like a guy from The Bachelor. I'm not going to lie.
For sure. Jesse Palmer?
No, not Jesse Palmer.
Jordan Rogers?
He's 6'2", 195. Where does that compare to our boy, the All-American, unanimous, all-purpose yards leader, Ishmael Mahdi?
How does it compare?
I think
Luke
like 5'10",
I think Luke McCaffrey does a little bit more in the passing game. Actually, I know he does a ton more in the passing game than Ishmael Mahdi does. But if he gave me pound for pound, I think I would lean towards McCaffrey just because I think he's a more of an explosive player and more dynamic player. But Ishmael Mahdi is not far behind if you're going to do like player comps.
Ishmael Mahdi listed at 180, 5'9". I feel like he's closer to 200 at this point, but that could just be me seeing him with rose-colored glasses. But I think you're right. He's much more involved in the passing game. Watch out for Denario Davenport. That's all I got to say. Is Rice a boring-ass team? You and I were both on the call for the First Responders Bowl. I was really excited to get on a press conference at 5:30 on a Sunday afternoon. But when I did, I texted our boy Ishmael Johnson, and I was like, "Hey man, do you need anything from this bowl presser? Just want to know, write out something quick for you guys." And he was like, "Yeah, sure. If you see anything interesting, log on. It's Rice." Wasn't interesting at all. The most interesting thing that happened was Rice's coach Mike Bloomgren going, "I think we're gonna have all of Houston in Dallas, or Houston's gonna take over Dallas, or something like that."
But the other thing that I didn't talk about is how many of our guys are from Dallas on our team already, and what a big deal it will be for them to get to be around their families and friends. And of course, you mentioned recruits. We do have a handful of active recruits in the DFW area that it'll be great for us to be in the news. And I think Rice is going to try to take over Dallas. So let's go.
So that's what I ended up asking Coach Kenny about, just how he thinks we're going to travel too.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on the success, the selection. Coach Bloomgren just said that Rice was going to try and take over Dallas. I just wanted to get your take on how you think Texas State fans will travel. A lot of anticipation, a lot of excitement for this first bowl game. What's all that been like, leading up to this?
Yeah, I think, or I know we'll travel very well, and we'll do our job and packing that place out, and just really excited for our fans, and it's going to be a great game. And big thing is too, not only for the fans, but the families of our student athletes getting an opportunity to come watch them play in a bowl game and experience that with their families. And so this is a special game. And man, I couldn't be more happy. I was hoping for this one, and got the opportunity to do this and play in Dallas for the First Responder Bowl, and then getting to play Rice. That probably fires me up just as much.
But that was it. And that was the sexiest part of that whole press conference for both of them.
Yeah, we have guys who've been saving money for 6 years to go to bowl games. I'm pretty sure we
got guys that will just drop 4 Gs on a suite, no questions asked, to strangers on the internet.
Yeah, I got to shout out the Bobcat fans, man. I freaking love you guys. To be
Now's the time if you want to be a cyber criminal, you want to be a fisher. Target some of these Texas State fans, man, because they will engage with your content on the internet.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
It's funny because now I've seen everybody and their freaking mother, literally in some cases, has an idea to make this bowl game experience better. But it's our first bowl time. So it's what are you talking about? What do you mean you know how to do this better than what we're doing right now? Or what do you mean that the ticket process could be better? We've just done it for the first time, man. Give it all some time.
I like where your head's at. I will say this, though, that it is our first time, but I think some people have been to a bowl game before.
Oh,
so
yeah,
maybe
sure.
they've bought tickets before. So
and
maybe they're like,
oh, we got to be at the same level as the Valero Alamo Bowl. It's no, we don't. First of all, this is the First Responders Bowl. Second of all, this is Texas State. Welcome to the club, buddy.
Third of all, we're going back to SMU Stadium.
Also, do you know how much money the university probably invested in this shit? Once you realize you get, bowl eligible, or they had that hashtag, or what was it? It's TXST Sports /jump in, or whatever their bowl game site is. But they invested literally money in a website, probably money in a consultancy or some sort of, agency that does all this bullshit behind the scenes. Rest assured,
I think that's paying off.
Of.
Do you think they're making their money back on that?
It's
the jump in stuff?
It's a loan, definitely, that they pay off at the end with commission fees and stuff like that.
But is it a good investment to do all the bowl game stuff, to have the website, to have the jump in gear, to have? Okay.
Yeah.
So you think
I'm gonna buy 2 of those shirts. by the way. I'm gonna buy the Bull shirt, one of them. I don't know which one. There's a black one and there's a maroon one. Ooh, which one do I get? I would have bought a white one. Just saying, everybody. And then I'm gonna get obviously Kelly jumping in because that shirt is pretty sick. It's only grown better with time.
I'm not gonna get the jumping shirt. I
No,
was looking.
what?
No.
Come on.
No, not after losing 3 of your next 4 games after jumping
No,
in.
Zim.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Man.
I do like the tradition. I think that it's a good tradition. I'm glad that we won one more home game afterwards. But yeah, no, I'm not buying that shirt. I would buy the bowl game shirt. Also, I might buy the bowl winner shirt. That's what I'm kind of holding out for. Is that when Texas State wins the bowl game, they'll sell the printed shirts in the parking lot. First responder bowl champions. That's important to me.
I want one of the extras that goes over the football pads that looks too big and it'll make me look like one of the football players' girlfriends when I wear it.
Yeah, a good sleeping shirt. A good shirt to sleep in for
sure.
Yeah,
I get a nightie.
Yeah, and we all need one of those. Yeah, I mean, like, it's been great. I mean, social media has been incredible for the Bobcats this past week. I thought people were kind of disappointed in the First Responders Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I know that our guy Colton was a little disappointed. I
know our guy Rocky Salinas was super excited about it because he was like, the closer that we play to New Year's Day means the better that this bowl game is. I just think it's good for advertisers all around the bowl game experience. That's all this is. That's all this ever has been.
I'll say to Rocky, conventional wisdom is true. That the old bowl system, we're talking like the 80s and 90s, the more important bowls were played close to New Year's Day. The problem is now that because there's so many bowls, I mean, bowl season starts, like in 2 weeks, a week? Like the 16th, I think is the first one. So it's like, there's so many now that it's kind of hard to like decipher, like, is the First Responders Bowl better than the Frisco Bowl? Like, who's to say? You know what I mean? But I think
bygones be bygones,
I think the game that Texas State is playing against Rice, I know people were asking for an out-of-state bowl. I'm glad that it was in-state. It's going to make it easier for Texas State fans, whether they be casual or diehard, to make it to the game.
Indeed.
Texas State has a huge alumni base in San Antonio, of course, but also in Houston and Dallas.
Dallas is huge.
Dallas has a big alumni chapter, so it's good. Potentially, I'm hoping that their alumni base is getting those fans to like engage, sending out the emails, sending out the like, hey, come to the bowl game and stuff. It's the 26th of December.
We've sold out of our allotment already, so now.
Well, that doesn't shock me at all. Our allotment's usually pretty small. Like, not small, but like considering.
But the bowl game guy himself, when we were on the call, was like, "Yeah, about an hour ago, the ticket sales just shot up, and that was basically all Texas State." So And I was like, look at that. Look at us go. Hashtag jump in. But people were like, oh, no, this could be better. We can do so much more. Blah, blah, blah.
I don't know.
Everybody and their mom is like, at Kelly Danfus, this is an idea I have. We should make it happen right now. It was like, do you think that's going to happen? First of all. Second of all, I'm the one that hates being told anything what to do. Imagine the president of a university.
No, I think there's a difference. I think that he's a little bit more humble with the
he's more receptive?
Yeah. I think he is. Kelly Danfus gives me the vibe of somebody who you give him any sort of thing to work with, and he'll take it and actually consider it.
Yeah, so I'm a socialist dictator compared to him.
You have those. Tweet them at K Danfus on Twitter. K Danf on Twitter. I mean, what are you saying? Like, what are people saying when it means like it could be better? Like, what are they expecting here? Like caravan buses? Like, what are we talking about?
That's what I saw too. The latest was like, can we bus people? I know it's during the winter break, but can we bus people to Dallas to get over there? It's like all this shit.
It's 4 hours. Like, I mean, that's kind of difficult.
And then somebody was like, do we have merch? And it's like, just Google this shit, man. Hashtag jump in or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's fair. If you do, this is I want to put.
It seems like a bunch of guys that could be on Google and instead are on Twitter.
That's fair. I want to plug this, that we are both there. We got our credentials. You did a good job getting us our credentials immediately.
Short order.
Very quick to get those. We will be there. You and I both. Right now, we are both going to be there. Do we have a time and place that if people want to meet us, that they can do that? Do we want to do a meet type of thing? Say hi to people?
Where I'm going to walk you out in your furry suit and people can take pictures and autographs with you.
Yeah, the giant squaring around mascot.
Yeah, the giant squaring around Bobcat mascot that we have.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
I have the old Boco uniform.
We barely because you're driving up. I am flying in. Everybody's like, whoa, look at this guy, big time over here flying in from San Antonio. I'm not. All right, I'm flying in from McAllen, Texas. All right, thank you
You don't
very
have
much.
to justify it to us.
No, I think I
You got
do.
that TV
because
money.
Everybody's like, oh wow, you're flying in.
You got
No,
that TV
I'm
money,
flying
dude.
in because it's an 8-hour difference, you dickheads. I don't get to just drive up anymore.
Who's saying that? Nobody's giving you grief. It's
I
just
think
you.
I'm projecting. I think
You for sure are.
this whole week I'm just projecting. Yeah. I don't know. We got to figure it out. We need to figure out our bowl game ish.
I think when we get closer to it, we'll have it. But I do want to open that up to people if they are interested in having like a meet and greet type of situation. I don't know. We'll have to look. It is at the SMU campus. Is that correct? Where the First Responders Bowl is. You and I have both been there. We like that campus. We like
I love that stadium.
Love that stadium. It's like built into the ground. If it's the first time you're going to an SMU game or going to a bowl game at the SMU on the SMU campus, like this is a good part. The reason I say all this is because there are landmarks that we can meet at and say like, hey, kickoff's at 4:30. We'll be there at 2:30. We'll be there at 2:00 and just like kind of hang out.
When do you plan to? I guess we could have like sort of like a block party or something. We can just show up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm kind of.
You can go to like lunch or something.
Trying to vibe that out here a little bit. Trying to find out what we want to do.
I do hate that kickoff is at 4:30. That feels like a weird time to me. It's like 2:30, 6:30. Great kickoff times. I love both of them. 4:30, 4 hours.
I'm okay. I'm okay with it. It's
Whatever. I wonder how cold it'll be because I plan on wearing a suit and I don't want to wear a jacket. I don't want to be on the field the entire game, so I'll probably be in the presser for like most of it. I think.
What's cold? Let's have that conversation here.
It's gonna be cold.
Mr. South Texas boy. What is cold?
I think I can look this up too. This will be very cold. It's already like 40 something degrees in San Antonio. So imagine what it is in Dallas. Callan, Austin, San Marcos, San Antonio. Gotta delete that one. Yeah, it's gonna be about 45 degrees or something like that.
It's 43 right now. It's 43 right now where I'm at. So let's be honest here, boys. Some of us are built for it. Others are not.
Let's keep it Giannis. I'm with the Bucks, boy. Yeah.
Yep.
It's 65 degrees in San Antonio. I am frigid.
Are you really?
I'm so cold, bro. I'm from the Valley.
You are such a bitch.
Yeah. Speaking about SMU, I'm kind of all over the place because I'm having a manic episode right now. But
that makes sense.
Something interesting I think about our first bowl game is I remember so clearly the last time you and I were on campus at Southern Miss University. It was when Texas State played them for the very first time in a long time with Jake Spavital. That was his first year, and I think you and I for the first 6 weeks of that whole year never missed a game in person. We were just traversing around the state watching this team. So the things I'm going to remember about that game is like getting the shit kicked out of us and then possibly winning our first bowl game in Gerald Ford Stadium. Last time, as I was saying, Spav's first year, we interviewed Brian London in a stairwell after the game. George Bush was there. Texas State lost.
Which George Bush?
George Bush Jr. Herbert.
I think it was Junior, but I'm pretty sure HW was around too in that same like vicinity.
I think Barbara was there. I don't think HW.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
George W? It's just W, right? It's just Walker.
W.
If you guys haven't seen Dick, that movie about Dick Cheney, such a crazy movie. And it shows like young.
Awful movie.
It's an okay movie. It's a Christian Bale.
It's liberal propaganda.
It is super liberal propaganda, but it's like, I think it was made by Vox or Vice. So
yeah, it's made by Vice.
What did you expect?
Yeah, it's for you.
Can't be like these cookies are gluten free and then be shopping at Trader Joe's.
For you, who's in the Trump 2024 camp, you must have hated it.
I am not.
That honestly,
I did send you like a Trump David Goggins level motivation speech.
Cut. You can cut this out if you want, but let me say this to our loyal fans who tweet at Jacob Trump 2024. That is the funniest thing in the world to me.
Nobody tweeted that at me. First of all, you're talking about this tweet interaction between me and a PhD candidate at Texas State Tech University, Morgan Davidson, who's also a Bobcat, who was very excited that we started talking about politics last week because of the whole Greg Abbott and then debate stuff that's been going on.
No, Jacob voted for Trump in 2016.
I did not vote for Trump in 2016. You want me to
Be on
release
the
my
lookout.
voting records and my tax return?
Be on the lookout, folks.
You'd be like, wow. First of all, that's how much money Jacob makes. And second of all, you'd be like, wow, really progressive guy.
Jacob's gonna go down to the valley and make sure that border wall's still being put up.
I think most of it is already up in the valley. It's for sure up in El Paso.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, El Paso.
Apparently, it's pretty easy to put up a wall once you get the right money in order.
We can debate that. Is El Paso the valley?
El Paso is not the valley.
No.
El Paso is not even on the electric grid of Texas.
Not.
It's barely Texas. They didn't have
More
to
new-
struggle. They didn't have to freeze in 2021.
Yeah,
Winter
they did.
Storm Uri.
They did.
No, they had their power on still.
Yeah. Okay.
So, how was your weekend? Because I had a really big weekend this weekend because I didn't really watch any football because it was like, what's the point? You know, what am I missing out on here?
Oh, I had a great weekend.
Yeah.
I had a great weekend. Watched the SEC championship game, the Big 12 championship game, the ACC championship game. Did not watch the Big 10 championship game because I kind of had an idea how that one was going to shake out. Texas makes it into the college football playoffs. Jacob, a very well-known Longhorn hater, not happy about that. Andrew Zimmel, a gas bag, was happy because it added to the conversation about the college football playoffs. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good weekend. Solid weekend for me.
You wish it had been Sam Ellinger?
Yeah, I wish Sam would have gotten to the playoffs. I love Sam.
I think he had like a Colts like reveal for the SEC gear that they're selling now or something. They were like hashtag now it means more or something like that.
Yeah, which the hats, dude, let me tell you, those hats are going to sell like hotcakes.
Already say.
They say that it was like there's a lot of different comps to that hat. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to go the white person way. Hotcakes.
Can you imagine?
Sell hot.
Can you imagine how much money Colt McCoy would have made in this current age? Record amounts.
Let me ask you, which quarterback from that era? So you think Tebow, Sam Bradford, Kellen Moore, Colt McCoy, which quarterback would not have stayed with their school for as long as they did with the NIL?
I don't know. I watched a lot of Texas back then, so I really only know Texas's team. That's it. My favorite player of all time, Jordan Shipley. Love that guy. The Shipley brothers.
That's a pretty basic take.
Yeah, just typical average white guy guys, you know.
Yeah, Jordan Swoop. No, I thought you were gonna go defense.
No, I didn't have the respect for the game at that point in my little life.
You didn't know ball.
Didn't know ball. Absolutely did not know ball. I really didn't know ball until I was second string defensive MVP, Cathy Middle School football.
I can tell you exactly when I knew ball. 7th grade lunch table.
I knew ball like last year. That was it. I've just now
7th grade lunch table. That's when I realized that I knew more sports than my friends. I was like,
when I made $600 for the first time prop betting, that's when I knew ball.
I know ball.
Mm-hmm. I still really don't know ball, to be honest. I'm learning. I'm a novice at best. I'm trying to read my fucking handwriting now. We talked about the bowl. I guess circling back to like our bowl game, talking about just like this whole year to date, I never really had to deal with Texas State being successful. So that's why I'm like slightly annoyed with all the bowl game stuff because I'm like, usually we're already done. We're talking about basketball. We're talking about baseball at this point in the year already. But now we're still talking about football.
That's such a first world problem.
I know.
I love it. I love it so much. And like I mentioned, the transfer portal is open. GJ Kenny and Matt Leftwich both were photographed with a player this week when it comes to recruiting high school quarterbacks. We only lost one. We lost Rogers, right? CJ Rogers.
There's only like 2 or 3 guys, at least according to 24/7 Sports. I really wish there was just like a database you could pull from to be like, this guy's in the transfer portal. I guess that's supposed to be what 24/7 Sports is, or at least trying to be.
But you wish it was an NCAA website.
Yeah, I wish there was a website I could go on and be like, CJ Rogers, and then in the transfer portal, you know, or just like schools I am interested in. Apparently, the window for that is you have to first be like, GJ Kinney, I want to leave. And he has like a whole Bachelor in Paradise moment with you. And he goes, are you sure you want to give this all up? And then you go, yes. And then your school has like 48 business hours to respond and put your name in the transfer portal. And then at which point schools can start contacting you if they so choose. But
let's be honest,
just like we saw in this offseason, guys who jump into the transfer portal could jump right back out. just like Ashton.
And let's be real here, dudes be talking all the time.
Dudes be talking. Let's be honest. We've all gotten into a fight with our girlfriend or significant other and been like, you know what? I'm a little bit too big for my britches, and you go a little too far, and you pass that line. You're like, ooh, actually, never mind.
Yeah,
Hashtag
no, coaches, GAs, they're all boosters. They're in the DMs. They're talking. They're trying to figure out who's going to come, who's going to go. Yeah. So Texas State historically in the last transfer portal era, right? GJ Kenny's kind of owned it. He's been one of the transfer portal prophets almost. That like, hey, this is the way college football is. Like this is how we're gonna do it. Don't say that. Don't say GJ Kenny's a truther.
He is. First of all, his hashtag Take Back Texas, which I've said before sounds like an insurrectionist. Cry to arms.
So he's a guy who knows what he's doing when it comes to the transfer portal. I like that he is going out and getting guys and working the transfer, working those angles, because that's where Texas State's success came from this year, was guys who came from other programs. I'll be curious because I'm not jinxing it. All the main players are still in the maroon and gold. Things change after a bowl game, of course, but the coaching cycle, Jacob, kind of coming to an end.
Well, 51 newcomers to this team. We're losing 10 people from that group, plus another, what is it? It's like 18. So we're missing another 8, like in total, just from like the stock of guys we had. So,
but you're replacing them with freshmen that are going to get recruited.
We're losing a fifth of the first Tech Back Texas class. And we're also losing, at least right now,
to graduation.
10 of those guys are to graduation / being ineligible to play anymore. You know, we finally got rid of all these doctors and lawyers that have been here for a while. When's the last COVID year? I think it's probably like in 2 years. Like once the guys who were soft.
It's like, okay, let's say you came 2024 would be if you started in 2020, plus another year is 2025, plus a redshirt year is 2026. So 2026 will be like the last of like the COVID year people, give or take, because then there's medical hardships, there's economic hardships, there's other stuff.
And that's like whether or not you choose to take it is obviously not mandatory to take it, but who's going to say no to having like a free year of college, basically? You're going to hang out. Some guys just use it as like, oh, like I can just be part-time and like audit like a couple classes or like either pursue or not.
I heard an interview with a former college football player who's talking about how he's not a football player anymore, but he's saying that when he came in, he was a 19-year-old freshman trying to compete for a starting spot, and there's a 25-year-old, 26-year-old safety who's like the starter, and it's like, how do I beat out a grown man for this job? You know, you can't. It's
got to become a grown man.
That's why the NFL doesn't let you draft high. So it's because the NFL doesn't let you draft high school kids, because like there's a difference. Your body just changes between the ages of 18 and 22. And it's like, how do I beat that? So then there's so many guys who come in their freshman year, they get told, hey, you're going to play, or, you know, you're going to play the next year. These COVID guys have kind of chalked everything up a little bit, you know, stopped up the mechanisms to get guys in, and then they go transfer out and then they go somewhere else. And it's just, they become the old guy on a different roster. So it's a weird system that we have built right now. I'm hoping that it cleans itself out in the next 4 years.
Between that, another thing I want to talk about after I say this real quick, we're also losing running back coach Eric Stevens. That was the first like major coaching shift. According to his announcement, it does not look like it was his choice, but you know, whatever. I don't know. We got one of the best running backs in the country out of it. Wasn't his selection. So that's 2 running backs Texas State has lost in the coaching cycles.
Running back coaches.
Because we lost Cam Martin before the season even started. It was like week 2, basically, of GJ Kinney trying to do stuff, and that was our big da-na-na moment. Yeah. And then that
was one that we didn't see coming either.
Mm-hmm. So GJ Kinney's got a hiring sign. I'm sure he'll find some great next guy up or whatever. Well, the guys he's brought in, nuts. You know, Daniel Prado, Mac Leftwich. I'm more concerned about Mac Leftwich or Coach DePrado leaving, just because what they bring to the table.
Okay, as an assistant coach, yeah, there's something to be said. You know, coaching spots open up. Assistant coaches move around a lot more than head coaches do. But the head coaching shift kind of feels like it stopped. The musical chairs. It feels like the music stopped.
A lot of it,
like,
yeah.
You know, because recruiting reopened up on December 4th. Mm-hmm. So, you know, if you want to hire a head coach, you kind of wanted to have him by the December 24th mark, or correction, the December 4th mark, so that you can get on the recruiting cycle. So I think we got GJ for another year.
No, I think so too.
I don't want to jinx it, but it kind of feels that way.
I think we're good. We're in the
insane. That's it. For him and Jeff Traylor both not to get poached is like big. And I think both of them want David Randy's job at Baylor. So
yeah, once that ended and then they were just not interested in the Houston job, or maybe Houston wasn't interested in them for the Houston job because they don't want a guy who's lost to Houston half of the time, basically, in Jeff Traylor, and a guy who still has really not proven himself at the level that he wants to yet, DJ Kinney. I think it was fine. We were going to be fine the whole time. Unless like UCF or Mississippi State took a big swing at Texas State's GJ Kinney,
Spavital at Baylor. Did you see his intro press conference?
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I guess the word excitement is kind of where I'm at as well. Just excited to be back in Texas and be around the great state in terms of high school football with the greatest probably coaches and the players in high school in the country. And just to be a part of the Texas High School Coaches Association again. I come from a high school coach. Like my dad is a former high school coach, and I understand the importance of just really the association of what those guys do behind the scenes to keep football at a premium in this state. And very fortunate to be back in this state. And
what the fuck is that?
You want to play here?
This guy slowly will just chip away at us for his whole career, I think.
He's talking about this
any highlights from that presser? What do you want?
He's talking about this high-flying offense. I want to put that in there. This high-flying offense that he's like building at Baylor.
When I was at Texas State, I think we only had like 22, staff members, period. I think I met like 75, I felt like, in the first 10 minutes I was here. And which was a great thing. And the professionalism that has occurred, how they've welcomed my family here, it's just been a breath of fresh air. And, coach is bringing me in here to help on that offensive side of the ball where he's been a pro style and he wants to go to a spread system. And I've been a part of that transition. And, you've got to understand what personnel you have. And you adapt to what they can do. And that's what fires me up as well. Like, it's just to get on the grass and just see what they're capable of doing. And it's mainly just to keep the vision the same. Will be a lot of discussions with Coach in terms of what he wants and how he looks at things. And it's up to me to get the ball moving in that direction and put up some points.
And I'm like, Cal wasn't good this year. That's the first big red flag. They're going to a Power 5 conference next year in the ACC. You go to Baylor in a conference that Baylor absolutely was dog shit in this year. Now, maybe it was injuries, maybe it was other things. I talked to our Baylor guys before the season. They weren't super high on this team before the year, and they got even more despondent as the year went on.
Listening to their podcast as the year progressed was so hilarious because they were just in misery.
Shout out to them. They were right on pretty much everything. So they deserve
even their Sunbelt
a ton of credit.
The
Sunbelt takes were shaky. If you go back and listen, Sunbelt takes were shaky. The Texas State take was right though. So shout out to them for that.
Those guys know ball.
We were more. Well, I think Broken Clock is right twice a day.
That's true. We're right a lot too.
What is this high flying offense he's talking about? Because he hasn't had a high flying offense since A&M, like with Johnny. Like, West Virginia didn't have a high-flying offense. I don't know, man. It's just, like, it's hard. A friend of mine reached out and was talking about some of the stuff I've said about college coaches in the past, right? This is on the TCU podcast that I do, the Hypnotoad podcast on the College Sports Network. Check that out over there. But the Heartland College Sports Podcast Network, check it out over there. But he was like, you are so angry at Kendall Briles for these play calls, but in reality, like, it's situational. And I'm thinking to myself, is Spavital
like, I wasn't mad at Kendall Briles for that specifically, but sort of, I guess.
Yeah, well, I can't be mad at him for everything. I have to disguise it with other bullshit. It's kind of like your girlfriend is mad at you because she doesn't love you anymore, but she's going to pretend it's because you don't put your socks away, right? Yeah. Like, so it's like
that's passive aggressive behavior. That's what my therapist would tell you.
He uses a draw play on 3rd and long, and it's like, actually, he covered up sexual assault, right? Like, but I can't say that. You can only say that so many times on the podcast.
You should say
Huh?
You should say that is the issue, you know?
So, but I'm thinking with Spavital, like, is it a situational issue? Is he a situational coach and has maybe a deficit in understanding of like defenses? And that's weird for me to say, a 26-year-old who hasn't coached college football before, talking about a guy who's coached for a decade plus now. But I'm just looking at it. I'm like, I don't know. Is it like,
I think guys have like roles in life, you know, like some guys can be the guy that is like the leader, the role guy, you know, the guy that can kind of bring everybody together and make things work. And I'm not sure Spav was that guy. Maybe he does excel in like what he was before, like quarterback savant / offensive coordinator guru. I don't know. They beat the dog shit out of North Texas, but who didn't this year, really? You know,
Cal did?
Yeah, Cal, North Texas.
Yeah, that was North Texas was not good this year. I don't know.
There was another take I saw this week too. Is like, can we play Baylor? Can we add Baylor? Is it too late to play Baylor? That series pretty much is done. The next time, I mean, we play Army before we're gonna play Baylor. We play Army in like 2029.
Play Arizona State before we play Baylor again.
Yeah, we have we're embarking on a 3-year series with what is this?
Sun Devils?
Arizona State University.
The Sun Devils, baby. That's my adopted Pac-12 team.
And then we play UTSA for 8 more years. 8 more years.
Yeah. Arizona State, Big 12 team next year.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Good for novice Jakob to know.
Novice
Jacob. Be good. I mean,
I've been tracking this Arizona State game. Let me
have you?
Yeah, I've been tracking it.
Is
it's the same week as debate week? So
the first one's in San Marcos and the next one's in?
Correct.
I have to be at that Arizona State game
at Sun Devil Stadium.
I have to be at that game in 2025.
And we can go to Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. We can go.
I'm not going there for that. I'm not going there for that. You think Texas State? Look, Texas State has a long, storied history of having a fun time. Arizona State is that to the
invented
max.
The fun time. No.
Arizona State, FSU, Texas State played FSU in 2015, got absolutely dog walked. Those are two schools. It's like the party school circuit. Like we have SFU, Arizona State, Texas Tech, maybe even,
Tampa.
Yeah, hit all those schools up. Let's put FCS schools on the schedule. Like, what are those guys down at Daytona Beach doing? What's happening over there?
South Dakota State.
The spring break circuit. If you say something with enough conviction, people will believe you.
Okay, let's get some national takes off. I was talking a little bit earlier how I think NIL is making things a little weird. For sure, something that is making things weird is the CFP as a whole. And I think, like, now it's just ruined college sports. I shot you a text earlier that was like the lawyer who argued against or for NIL in the Supreme Court and who won that case. And he's like quoted the next day going like, I think I killed college sports, or I think I just ruined college sports in America. I think the guy next up on that list should be everybody on the college football playoff committee. I do think FSU should have been a playoff team. But, I'm also not the guy that complains when the referees make a call error or make a bad call. And, I think the chips just lie where they lie. Good teams win.
Yeah, look, I don't want to argue FSU. I've been doing it for the past couple of days. I'll say this. If it is a job of a committee to give me the 4 best teams, they pick the 4 best teams. Those are the 4 best teams. Now, if you did 4 best resumes, anybody who will tell you, we need to get ZipRecruiter on here advertising.
Yeah. And who doesn't lie about a resume?
The resume sometimes doesn't tell the whole story.
If you're not lying on your resume, you're not trying hard enough, I think.
A lot of people have good resumes. They do the interview and then they don't get the job. And FSU, great resume, really bad interview. They had 2 interviews.
My problem
quarterback didn't look good. That's it. Sorry.
My problem is the cover letter. I've always been a very poor cover letter writer. I don't know. It's just not a
the
strength.
Quarterback. Here's my Colin Cowherd. Space out. ISO.
Yeah.
Quarterback is
and I'm the Republican, but you bring up Colin Cowherd.
Quarterback is the cover letter of a team. The quarterback is the face. If you want to buy into a college football team, who's the quarterback? I can name all 4 of the quarterbacks for the 4 teams that are in. I cannot tell you the name of the FSU quarterback.
True.
Right?
Well, it's because the main dude got knocked out week 11. And so now
Yeah,
they're on
exactly.
like a
And to
third
be
string.
honest with you, the Georgia quarterback barely passes a sniff test too.
That
So
ass.
I look at it this way. I say that those 4 quarterbacks are the best 4 in the playoffs right now. Of the 6 teams that were potentially there, I'm not angry at it. And also, it should be noticed, Ohio State fell from, I think, 6 to 7 after not playing, of course. They didn't make it the Big Ten championship game. Their quarterback left. So he's in the transfer portal, too, to make it full circle. So, there's just – I don't think the committee got it wrong. I don't really care all that much either. The ACC has been really weak the past couple of years, so I just shrugged my shoulders.
The chairman of the College Football Playoff Committee, and this is like if we get way too in the weeds for Texas State one year, and we're like, why aren't we in a New Year's Six versus the first responder?
That is a more interesting conversation.
Yeah,
that Liberty got the New Year's Six over
precedent
SMU.
Does this set like for years down the road? Really, Yeah, what does this set?
Well, this is the thing. Like, I'm gonna tired. Florida State should be in wired. SMU should have been in the New Year's Six Bowl over Liberty. Liberty plays in a worse conference. SMU is going to be a Power 5 team next year as they join the ACC next year too. I think that they should have gotten that game. The conference that UTSA plays in now is a better conference than the conference they used to play in. And that's just a fact. And they're not as good as the Sun Belt, but they're probably the second best. Going 8-2 in that conference should have gotten you a New Year's Six Bowl versus Liberty, who didn't play anybody. And if JMU had a chance to play for the conference championship, I'm not saying they should have, but if they had a chance and they won it at 11-1, then they should have been in a New Year's Six Bowl. So that to me is the bigger conversation on the Group of 5 level. It should have been SMU. They're a better team. I think Liberty at 13-0 is a fraudulent 13-0. It is reminiscent of UCF's 13-0, but Florida State Central Florida even had some premier wins. So, I understand in 2017 them being upset not getting a shot at the playoffs. The one team that got in, if you remember, Cincinnati was a Group 5 school, they got in and absolutely got dog walked. So not exactly the best showing from the Group 5 in the playoffs. Sideline Texas State has been on Twitter nonstop tagging the NCAA saying this is an atrocity. Good luck.
Who's making more noise about that? Sidelines Texas State or Ron DeSantis on the CFP committee this week?
Ron DeSantis is offering $1 million?
Yeah, the story is that they're in the middle of budget proposal for the state legislature in Florida, and it's I don't know, millions of dollars right at stake for the state. And he's going to get whatever he wants because that's what happens in Republican-controlled states who have Republican governors. And this guy sues Disney for fun in his free time in office over there, so he'll sue anybody. But he's offering as a part of the budget to be $1 million worth of legal fees, basically, for FSU to go after the CFP, even after they play their bowl game. They're playing the Orange Bowl, right? So that's January 8th or January 6th, something like that.
Against Georgia, so it's it's a solid bowl game.
Solid game, yeah. And if you win that game, you got to hang every single banner forever.
The beauty of that is when you cut the budget for reading and sex ed, you got a lot of money left over, so you get money to spend.
Yeah, you're right.
The College Football Playoff Committee. I don't know.
You got the budget for reading. This is what I was going to tell you too. I found my thought from earlier. And this is what I was talking about, when you get way too in the weeds and what does this mean for Texas State, blah, blah, blah. The CFP chairman said that from weeks 1 through 11, it was a completely different FSU team. And that was when that quarterback went down with that injury. And then to now, it's a completely different FSU team. So the style of play doesn't really fit what they want on TV. Not good for advertisers. That was basically what he said. And that's why they didn't get picked.
Which is ironic because this team was good defensively all year. They took a real step up when they're down, but Georgia was a good defensive team last year. You know what I mean? FSU has 4 or 5 NFL caliber players on their defense. What are we doing? This feels dumb. Feels really, really stupid to be arguing about it.
Our GOAT, not your GOAT, because you hate this woman, but our GOAT, Coach Chisholm, was all FSU showed me this weekend was defense. That was before the CFP announcement too. So
yeah, she's on my side.
She knows ball.
She's I don't want to see these guys. Mm-hmm. So who do you got? It's Alabama, Michigan.
Yeah, I want Michigan to win so bad.
Okay, and then Texas and Washington.
I want Washington to win so bad.
So
The
you're going
worst. I love Michael Penix Jr. Yeah.
So 1-2,
And then
Michigan versus.
I think Michigan takes it.
Really? Okay.
Mhm.
Big Connor Stallion guy, huh?
Oh, I love Connor Stallions. No.
Yeah.
GA,
All right.
Texas State, Connor Stallions.
Make the phone call.
I'm a big if you're not cheating, you're not trying guy. I'm a Cowboys fan, and my team is run by a supervillain pretty much. So,
You're an Astros fan. Your team is
I'm
run
an
by a
Astro.
supervillain.
Look at this right here.
Yeah.
Bang
That's
the trash
ironic.
cans, baby.
Ironic. He's like, I don't mind cheating.
I don't mind cheating. No. Let's talk about this.
That would be, hold on, pause. Great sports joke. I'm a polyamorous sports fan. I don't mind cheating. Put it on a t-shirt. Put it on a t-shirt.
Elite Sports. What's up?
Yeah.
I wonder if we can get a special bowl game shirt worked out with them, like
With what? Us on that?
Yeah. Let's do like Comic Sans First Responders Bowl. They can't get us there. And then we got to figure something else out.
First responders, you and me dressed up as a firefighter and a cop.
Ooh, yo.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of sick. Me
Squaring
arresting
around.
you.
I don't want to be arrested. No. I think it'd be
shirt.
funny if it's just you and me running. It's the bowl behind us, and it's like firefighter Jacob, policeman Andrew,
Wow,
and
I
it
get to be a
says
firefighter, huh?
first responders, and we're both holding like a bowl, right?
Maybe
I
you
think
get to
that'd
be an EMT, since
Yeah, that's fair.
you can be an EMT. Let's talk about this. The year of the square, baby. We've done this for a year. Can you believe it? Did you think we were gonna make a year?
No.
Me either.
Most podcasts go 10 episodes before they die. We've gone like 40, 50 episodes.
We've got 60. I think this
Oh my
might be
God.
65 or something. We've done 20 of just the Republic of Football ones. I think 21 was our last one.
We got that deal in March. So, that's like
We've only done that. We've done that for like 8 months. We've done this podcast for 4 months preceding this whole thing.
That's insane. Yeah, I know. I mean, when you hit me up about this idea, I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I think that a high tide raises all ships. I credit this podcast for a lot. I think that the social media for Texas State has gotten better. I think Chris Kuntz, our incredible SID, has done a better job at his job since we've started doing it. Win Now and Get Bent. They've had a ton of success. I truly, and then of course the football team winning. Football team doesn't win if we don't do this podcast.
But honestly, yes.
Football team doesn't win.
Honestly, if the football team doesn't win, we don't do this podcast anymore. We could be doing other shit with our time.
No, it was great. It was like we brought on Lindsey Scott Jr. We were like, hey, buddy, what are you doing over there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How's the quarterback look?
Tell us what you really know.
And then boom, all of the quarterbacks got a lot better. So I'm just saying I think that it's I don't give all the credit, but
we also beat like the Jacob curse where I was bringing in guys to talk about, and then we wouldn't win for a very long time. And
you jinxed baseball and softball in like 1 month.
Yeah.
And then we didn't do any volleyball and
no volleyball.
They went really far.
Just stay away, guys. Just stay. If you miss the window for coverage, just stay away. Let somebody else do it.
Worked out.
I'm really grateful for this podcast. It's helped me first of all, I think I've been chasing consistency for a long time. I feel like I do a lot of things very well, but I don't do them at the level, and like I don't commit enough time to them, like to be like very consistent at a lot of things.
Mostly a brown leather couch?
Probably because my like job makes me go into like nights, and you kind of get a little shifty on that schedule. But when I was searching for this podcast, I wanted my own little slice of media pie, I wanted to share it with my friend, wanted it to be fun. And that's basically what this whole year has been about, is like just doing stuff that we want to do our way, not really caring about, we got to chase views, or we got to do this, or we got to make it look like a certain thing, and just kind of like doing what we want with the people who we want it with, So it's opened a lot of doors for me professionally. I edit some stuff for Dave Campbell's. We both freelance for Dave Campbell's now, and got to mix in with that whole crew. It's been really fun. I've had such a blast, and I'm so grateful for our friendship and the work that we've put in behind the scenes and in front of the cameras.
Yeah, man. The only regret I have is that I didn't go to any Texas State games this year. But besides that,
hey,
we're going to the bowl game, baby.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're credentialed. You could go to any of them you want. You just don't fly down. You don't want to chase those.
Sorry,
mobs.
Sorry, I'm
didn't
not
get that,
flying down, getting the
You didn't
freaking
get
flyer
that
miles.
Frontier pass. You could have gotten that Frontier pass that Danny has.
Yeah, we'll do a sidebar here in a minute, but that thing was absolute, like, that was a scam, and Danny fell for it.
Yeah. It's not like the American Airlines, like, fly anywhere bullshit.
No. That
But
thing was like,
it's almost close. It's kind of, I mean, you're flying on a Frontier plane, so God help you. But
also it was like you only had like select weekends, and it was 3-day trips. So it's like, what am I doing in like, I'm flying into Los Angeles for 3 days and flying back out? Like, that's not fun.
yeah,
I don't
and
know.
it's not like the good weekends. It's not like going to be like Christmas week or like
No, it's like a
Thanksgiving
random
or, like,
week
a
in
reduced rate.
February.
Yeah, it's like February 3rd. What are you doing?
Yeah. Who here enjoys a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday trip to Fargo, North Dakota? Who doesn't, you know? It's also a 6-hour flight. So, like, no matter when you're going, half your day is blown right there. So,
and then depending on what time in the year you're going, you might not even have any sunlight when you get there.
dude, no kidding. No, the sun was setting at 1:30 today.
1:30 in the afternoon?
Dude, yeah. It's crazy.
I get it. So, you're the square. Thank you so much to our listeners. The Quattro Corners Cartel. I'm debuting
I don't know who gave you the go ahead on that hashtag. I've been meaning to talk about that for a minute. What the hell are we doing? Good for you. I clicked on the hashtag today to see how many other tweets there were. There's 2.
It's us. Yeah, it's just us. Hey, you got to be on the ground floor. You don't want to be there. You don't want to hashtag that has cartel at the end of it. And there's like 300 entries.
Too fair. That's fair. Fair point. Fair point.
Of course. I want to make it clear distinction. All cartels out there, no beef.
Get me fucking abducted when I'm visiting you in the valley. I get fucking abducted. It's a cartel guy tweets all the time. It's like, no, not me. I thought it was a bad idea. I don't like the hashtag.
El Gringo.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think there's some more stuff coming. I think in our second year, we kind of figured out a nice flow this year, and then it only really goes up from here. Can you imagine? Some of you guys have been like, "Oh wow, you guys have been doing this for a while. You guys clearly have some chemistry." Sorta, you know. I mean, this was like the most consistent for a podcast I've ever been. What about you? You've really fallen into a groove like this before?
Dude, I was doing fucking 5 podcasts a day for like a year and a half. I mean, this is the most consistent podcast I've had with a partner for sure. When it's my shit,
hey, look at that.
When it's my shit, it's a fucking daily grind,
Well,
brother.
it's easy to do it by yourself. Would you say?
I don't know. I feel like it's easier to do with a partner, honestly. I've kind of rolled the ball out here and played every week versus, I'll tell you, when I did my own shit, it was a little bit harder. I podcasted the day Kobe died. That was emotional. Let me tell you, that was a tough one.
My favorite thing that you told me this week was, "They don't love you. You're not Kobe." What's that fucking quote? That's good.
Yeah, this is Draymond Green quote. What were we talking about?
We were talking about, I don't know, something on the internet.
They don't love you like that. You thought he was Kobe? You're not Kobe. Yeah.
That's fire.
Yep.
Draymond, Hall of Famer. Everybody gets in the fucking Hall of Fame in the league, because it's the most corrupt league in the world.
No, it's not. Are you stupid?
I think it is.
What are you sucking on, a tailpipe?
Yep.
FIFA exists. FIFA is the most corrupt, period, point blank. Like, there's no debate there.
Soccer's not a sport, Jimmo. Let's get that through our heads. Just kidding.
FIFA is the most corrupt. If you want to argue the NBA, that's fine. NFL, I'd argue, is in there too. Major League Baseball for decades was letting guys roid up. If you're looking for
less corrupt somehow than the NCAA, though, I think.
Yeah. NCAA is 2. FIFA, NCAA 1, 2.
FIFA, NCAA, then NBA. Okay, I can live with that. Yeah. I think there's some more behind the scenes stuff I want to do for Squaring Around. So if you have suggestions, put it in our comment box. If you have a bowl game suggestion for us too, put it in our comment box. What's your text?
If you want to do a meet and greet, put it in the bowl. Do that, because I think that'd be a lot of fun to hang out with people. Or if you have a tailgate that you're like, hey, let's invite Zimmel and Jake to. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. I'm down for everything, dude. It'll be so much fun. I can't wait to see everybody out there, Because I get a little recognized every once in a while, and it makes me feel special. Imagine when it's actually people there that were like, whoa, I haven't seen this guy in like years, Big Nietzsche, what are you doing here?
Yeah. That if somebody comes up to me and says, Big Zimmel, what are you doing here? I might have to end it. That might be enough.
Throw some hands, yeah.
Yeah. They'll be like, damn, you gained like 50 pounds, dude. Like it's my winter weight. My winter weight. I gotta hibernate. Live in the tundra.
We got anything else to talk about? What do you got?
Nope. I got nothing else for you.
I really just got gratitude. Nothing but love for our Squaring Around fans and the haters. Shout out to haters.
Nah, not a lot of haters.
A lot of haters. They hate us because they ain't us. And you know what? At the end of the day, guess who's with fucking Dave Campbell's and you're not? We hitched our horse to the winning wagon.
I know. I'm shocked that they have kept that. That's more like what is surprising that we've done a year of podcasts so they've kept us around this long.
Dead ass. Between us, I mean, we got the two bears that push the envelope, so we gotta start pushing the envelope more.
Call for people's firings. Actually, we should do a call for people's hirings.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Awesome, man. Well, Thanks again, Andrew. Thanks again to our beautiful listeners. Follow us at Squarin Pod. Use code SQUARE at checkout everywhere. If you're at Dick's Sporting Goods this weekend, use code SQUARE. See what happens. 810-230-8004. Mike Jones, you know the name.
We're 3 weeks away from the bowl game.
Woohoo! Happy travels. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Zemo, Jacob, this is Sean Rodriguez. Sean, not Sean on Twitter. I'm a little under the weather, man, but I wanted to say congratulations on the year of the podcast. We appreciate the Bobcat coverage. I won't say I'm a day one listener, but maybe like day 2 or day 3. So I appreciate it all, man. Thank y'all for keeping the maroon and gold on high. Eat 'em up.
We ain't got no badges. We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Better not come any closer.
Thanks for listening. New episodes out every Thursday. Follow the boys on Twitter. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up.